Welcome back, everybody. It's April 10th, 2021. I have a little quote here for you from Joseph Skipper, and this really explains my predicament when it comes to trying to show you, the viewer, what I see, what I have found. And so this is it. Here we go. This is Joseph Skipper. This is paraphrasing. I'm trying to get some points and some insight across that isn't readily apparent to the more casual observation. When you view many tens of thousands of images as I do, you gradually gain a cumulative insight into anomalous evidence that is very difficult to readily share without overwhelming viewer senses with tons of subtle evidence. And there is no room here in this shorter reporting style of mine for that type of reporting. The only way is to try to keep coming back to it, presenting visual samples to try and point out evidence that is often very subtle. In other words, frequently I see things that are very, very subtle, and I try to point them out, and usually they're probably missed. Maybe if I had a screen pointer or something like that. And someday I will. Anyway, we have a lot of pictures here today. This video is made for the people who don't have time to go back and watch all my videos. I try to tell people, oh, I've seen this, I've seen that, I've got this and that, and so many cool things for you to see. Well, in any one given video, there may only be a handful of those kinds of items. Now right here is the nose of a triangular craft, and it's dead center sloping down to the left, and you can see that at the very tip of it there, now coming in from the 830 position, it looks like it has a gun mounted right there. This is not unusual. We've seen this before on other triangular crafts. And right there is where that triangle comes to a point, right below that gun. And we're just seeing the very tip of it. That's it. Most of these pictures are Gigapans, if not all of them. And frequently they're zoomed in from a long distance, so a lot of these items that we find on the tops of these buttes that I have been showing you are not as clear as they could be, and that's just because it's from such a long ways away. We're zooming in so far. Now this picture here, we're looking up in the top left corner. There's a very, very large triangle there in the background, and that thing came down on its nose and plowed up a bunch of soil and debris in front of it. This is just another example of a triangular craft that is very subtle. You can just see the outline of it there on the ground. This is not uncommon, and there's quite a few of those that I've chosen not to show any more of those. I have so many pictures. This video is going for so long, I can't show everything. So I'm just trying to show some of the highlights. This picture here, I think, is the most amazing of all the pictures that I've come across. Up on top there, you can see that's obviously not just rock. It's a part of a hull, and this whole hillside, this whole area here it's really obvious that it's not natural. Some of the buttes that we've seen tend to look natural from a distance, and when you get close, you see things sticking out. In this case, on that picture previous there, it shows you all of the textures of everything that's inside that butte. And for those of you who have not visited my channel before, I talk a lot about the buttes, and the buttes are completely made up of man-made things. I believe vessels. I'm not going to get into all that during this video to show you the evidence for that. I'm just going to show you pictures. That's all. None of these pictures are in any particular order, fairly random. This is a new picture I haven't shown before. It shows an exceptionally long flying fuselage. Although I will say its flying days are over. As it turned out, there's actually quite a few of these flying fuselages. I've been known to say that they only make triangular crafts up there, and that's very wrong. There's quite a few of these other crafts. And I gotta tell you, I have about 35 minutes of video here today. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more that I could show you. And maybe I will someday. But for whatever reason, this was a really difficult video to put together. At first it was finding all the pictures and all their various different places and trying to make it a little bit cohesive, and the editing is very difficult, particularly because it's such a long video. Editing is the worst part. That's the hardest part. More missile type things. looks like some kind of an aircraft mounted with some missiles next to it, mounted on something. And right in front of it is a craft that had some great detail on it. So, you know, it's amazing to me that these pictures are available to everybody, primarily through Gigapan, which of course originated from NASA, and they're available. All you have to do is go to their website, click on the pictures. So how come people don't do that? How come scientists and colleges say, hey, look at these pictures? I don't really understand how all of these pictures can be kept quiet. I understand how they can be kept quiet here on YouTube, but these other sites and the pictures being out and about, you can't explain away this stuff. And yet we now have another rover up there that's supposed to be looking for signs of past and present life. Well, this video has signs of lots of past and present life. And these pictures with all these destroyed vessels, you know, a lot of people died. They obviously lived because they have big cities all over Mars. We're going to have a couple pictures of those. So even though this destruction of all of these vessels that came down or whatever happened to them had to have happened at least millions of years ago. 2, 3, 4 million? I don't know. And the reason I know that is I compare these to the buttes in the southwestern United States that we know take millions of years to erode. And yet Mars doesn't have the type of erosion that we have on Earth, so things erode much more slowly. So they've been around for millions of years. So that means millions of years ago, there were people here. And they're still here. Now, imagine that we were able to not kill ourselves here on Earth and we were able to live 10 million years here on Earth. How many people would we have on Earth? Probably be something like what we have on Mars, because Mars is literally covered with people. And it's not all that subtle. So, yeah, I just don't understand how this stuff just gets overlooked, I guess. And you know, I'm pretty sure, actually I'm very sure, that these pictures would stand up in a court of law. No doubt about it. And not to mention all the thousands and thousands of subtle pictures that I have showing subtle evidence. Now this is a picture I've been looking at for quite a while, and the whole time it had something right there that I didn't see before. It looks like a Chevy Tahoe. It's some kind of a SUV looking thing. I mean, there's no way it could be, right? But it sure looks like one. And everywhere you see this silver and gold and bluish silver colored, that's all metal. M-E-T-A-L, metal. In other words, it was manufactured. And we see a lot of that kind of metal in all the buttes, on all the sides of the buttes and the ends. And if the hull material had not fallen off, we would not be able to see that metal. No explanation from NASA for the blue sky in this picture, or no explanation from what's sitting here either. Right? It's not there. We need to send up another rover to go find out if there's any past or present life. It's a piece of technology sticking out here. You can see some good detail on it, and it turns out you can also see where it goes back inside there. See that? Goes back in there. Here's another piece of technology. We don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a gun, but you know, who knows? Always giant pieces of hull or giant pieces of ship laying around with the layers. And I have no idea what this is, what it's the remains of, or if it's complete. It's really hard to say, but it's very interesting. Here again we have another triangular craft. Look at the nose of this craft. You see the notches? We've seen that on a number of occasions. Here's another small triangular craft sitting there. And there are a number of aircraft. These are not spacecraft, these are craft made to fly in the atmosphere. Here's another aircraft, and this one has on the front of it, below the cockpit, what they call canard wings. This little craft has an engine sticking up in the back that's reminiscent of the first craft we saw in this picture, or in this video. Sticks up kind of like that. Here's another aircraft. And here is one beat up aircraft. You can see the cockpit clearly in the right wingtip, which looks like it has an engine on it and a vertical stabilizer on top of the engine. This is an unusual looking, what I think is an aircraft. It also has canard wings, but much larger. It's quite a different design, including tail is very different as well. We've talked a lot about parasite crafts, how how they're frequently attached to another craft. And I want to remind everybody that yes, I'm an amateur. I've only been doing this for a couple of years. Had to teach myself everything, and it's still a huge learning curve in progress. We have a number of flying saucers to show you. This is a little saucer shape that I had from one of my videos. I said it had an awning on it. It's a little RV saucer. A couple of very strange buildings up towards the top. Also with the saucer shape on the ground there. This is their colors, not mine. Looks like 3 different kinds of vehicles sitting there. This is another saucer coming out of a very large ship. I didn't show many of these ships in this video, but these mountains are not mountains, they are vessels, and this is a great example. NASA has gone through great pains to cover this up in several different pictures. This one also, when I went back to look at the picture, it's gone. It's not there, it's just gone. Pretty small. And this picture is highlighted, obviously. This is the front of a flying fuselage sitting up there. This is such an exceptional picture, showing so much of the metal debris and missiles and everything. Quite a picture. This to me looks like an ocean-going vessel. And that is just a piece of debris, I'm sure of it. It looks kind of like a bug, kind of overlooking everything, but no doubt it's just a piece of debris. And I'm flipping through these pictures pretty quickly, so if you see something you want to look at for a second, hit the space bar or pause it and take a look. There's a lot to see in these pictures. This is just some debris going back inside there. Actually, everything we look at is debris. I wish I could get a good picture of this thing here. It's just, they're just not good pictures. So everything that you see in all of these pictures are in my previous videos. And one of the advantages to watching those videos versus just getting snapshots of amazing things is you get the provenance of where it is, where it's located, how it's situated, all of that, versus just getting a snapshot of these pictures. It doesn't tell the story at all. And there's so much stuff sticking out of the sides of these buttes. I mean, there's no shortage of it. I could go on and on and on with all of this stuff sticking out the sides. And of course, all of it is man-made material. Most of it, if not all of it, is vessels and the remains of vessels. And that's a whole nother story. I'm just showing you the pictures in this video. Look at all the metal shining in the sun there. I sure wish someday we could get some answers on how all of these vessels got piled up. Some type of a trailer, I think. And we have what appear to be a couple of tanks. That would be unusual, except it's not unusual. We've seen a number of tanks and different types in different places. This picture right here, by the way, is on Pluto. So because of the heavy filter, I had to colorize this, and I did it in green because it would look silly in any other color. But I think you see what's there, right? I mean, it is what it is. And here's the one that started it all for me, the jumping woman. People have had a real difficult time seeing her, so I colorized her skin. And to me, this looks like somebody operating something like a backhoe. This picture we're looking at right here is the only picture I'm showing you that's not enhanced. But he's wearing an army green coat, or whatever, shirt, with his sleeves rolled up, so I just colored it that color. You can see the big pincer on that thing picking up a pipe or something. Pretty easy to see. This is so unusual. This is something that they do. It looks like a man petting a dog drinking out of a bowl. Whatever. And I did not put these what look like eyes. And frankly, everybody, this is not uncommon. I've seen these eyeballs in other places. This is something they do. They're very, I'm not sure what the word is, just like this Finding Waldo's video. All of those pictures are real. They put them there, not me. Depictions of people and animals. Made to be seen from space. Really? It's crazy. How's that for a city? Nothing's falling down. Everything's intact. And there are a number of these kinds of pictures. I got this from Joseph Skipper, who of course got it from NASA Archives. Big cylindrical building there, right in the middle. And then just about all of these buildings are connected with sky bridges. See them? And there are other cylindrical buildings as well. Some pictures just look like a shot from New York City. Now this cellular design, in a video I said I think it was something that they use, that they cover with hull material. And here's some hull material right here. It's a satellite picture. You can see that material. It's coming up. There's long strips of it. And this is what they use underneath it. Much like with when they build airplane wings and airplane fuselages, they use that cellular design material, and then they cover it with skin. This is a satellite picture. This is what NASA wanted us to believe was the ground, that it was ground, and it was like looking at a dried lake bed. Martians build in rows with the like buildings. They're famous for it. This picture has been obfuscated so many times, and in fact this actual picture is no longer available in the archive. There are other ones that are similar, but they're not. They don't have the stuff in it. And this picture has been moved to an obscure place in the archive, and when you search Vera Rubin, it doesn't come up. You just have to come across it. This is Vera Rubin Ridge. And to me that looks like a vessel in the back and a crane there in the middle and something else. I don't know what that is. This is part of the layered construction. Right in front here is a big building. You can see the platform that extends from left to right and continues and is not done being constructed yet. This is an amazing area. Obviously man-made. Yep, so I'm going to do some coloring here. I hate to do it, but this is such an important place. And I've had an amazingly small number of comments of anything that we see here. This is one of the busiest pictures that there is. Also, the second picture I ever found in the archive after the jumping woman. Some kind of an industrial site. I think it had to do with pumping water out of the ground. There are quite a few image artifacts down close up front. They look like little tiny structures. This is not an image artifact. Looks like some kind of a vessel. This picture also is no longer available in the archive. They've removed all pictures that show the smokestack. Unfortunate. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon.